right now. Let's talk fire safety. And we are delighted now to be joined by Byron Turnquist, the fire marshal right here in West Bloomfield. Byron, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to The Splash.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, and happy to be here.
Well, good to have you here. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, that terrible tragedy, and we're not going to get into the specifics of it, but the terrible tragedy in Kegel Harbor a couple of days back. An individual passed away in that terrible fire, and it just brings to mind, and we just talked to the chief a couple days ago about fire safety. We can't talk about fire safety too much, sir. It's always important, and that tragedy might not have been as bad if there were multiple exits in that mobile home, and making sure that you've got a path out of your basement, wherever you happen to be sleeping. We'll talk about the other things, but the exit strategy in your home is pretty important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very important. Now, we always emphasize having working smoke alarms in your home. But one thing that is often neglected is knowing that you have at least two ways out of every room in your house. It's very important to make sure that the windows are operational. They're not blocked or screwed shut or nailed shut. Surprisingly, every now and then we find somebody that's worried a little bit more about security, and will disable those windows by nailing them shut or screwing them shut. Having an extra door. It's very important too that you don't set up a bedroom in a basement if you don't have an egress window or some other way to get out of that basement. It's just I can't emphasize it enough. It's important to know how to get out in a time of fire.
Well, and I look at that, and I know that the code doesn't allow people to set up a sleeping area in their basement, but people do it, and the fire marshal, you're not going to come into everybody's house and check and see if they have sleeping quarters downstairs. You just can't. And then I think about it as a big guy. We're both big guys. I'm bigger than you, though. And you look at those basement windows, and I'm thinking, if there's a fire, there's no way I'm going to be able to slither out of a basement window, I don't think. Some of those real small ones, even with the amazing help of the West Bloomfield Fire Department.
Yeah, you never know when that fire's going to strike. You never know where in the home it's going to happen. And it's important that you don't sleep in a basement without having the appropriate egress windows. A lot of homes these days are being built with daylight windows or walkout basements. And those are great. Those do allow you an extra or that secondary egress out of a basement. But the older homes that were built here in West Bloomfield back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, a lot of them do not have the egress windows. And it's not that expensive to install it. One of our firemen here moved into a new home and wanted to put that in his basement, and was able to secure a contractor and install an egress window.
What should homeowners do? And I didn't think about this until you were talking about the basements. Let's go to the other side of the house and get up on the second floor. What kind of things? I mean, we're not going to put steps or something on our second and third floor of our home, although maybe we should. What are we supposed to do to make sure we can exit safely out of the upper levels of our homes?
And depending on the design of the house, sometimes you can get out of your bedroom window and be on the roof of the first floor. But if that's not available, they do make the emergency ladders that will hang from your window, and you can drop them down and safely climb out. If you do use an emergency ladder or have one, it's a good idea to practice setting that up. Make sure that it will fit in your window and your window opens enough so that you can still get out and do that. But if you are trapped up in a secondary or on a second level or third level, and there is a fire on the first floor or second floor, you want to keep your bedroom door closed. Every time we talk with kids and more importantly the adults, when we're doing a fire safety talk, we emphasize sleeping with your bedroom door closed. Having your bedroom door closed helps keep the smoke and heat out of your bedroom, and will give you more time in the event of a fire, so that hopefully your smoke alarm will alert you. Your bedroom door is already closed. You can call 911, and if it does get too smoky and you're trapped, you can put the bedding down by the crack in the door. You can open that window to alert your neighbors, and then when the fire department arrives, hopefully you'll be letting us know that you're in the bedroom, and we'll perform that rescue with one of our ladders.
Well, and that's a good thing to mention. A lot of us don't have kids around anymore, and maybe we don't think about shutting the door to our bedroom. So good advice. I'll take that one myself personally. And then if you are in a lot of smoke, do you still want to like get low and try and stay low? Is that the thing that we're
Yep,
still telling
the
people
hot
to do?
smoke and the gases will accumulate at the ceiling level. So as if your room is filling with smoke and you can't get out, you definitely want to stay low. It's going to give you the fresh, clean air the longest.
West Bloomfield Fire Department, if I had the information right from Facebook, responded to an automobile fire in the past 24 hours. We have a picture of it out of fire station number 3, and you take a look at that picture, Byron, and we don't forget our cars are full of gasoline. There's explosions going on. That's what gets them down the road. Things don't always go right. Your crew did a really good job here on this incident, but any kind of tips or anything for when we're in our car?
No, the owner of the vehicle did an outstanding job. They noticed something that was smelling wrong, something that wasn't right while they were taking their kids to school. They started the car. They noticed the smell. They shut the car off. Started to investigate to try to determine what was going on. Couldn't find anything. Started the vehicle again and eventually saw the smoke and alerted us right away, which was it gives us the opportunity to put that fire out before it spreads to vehicles parked next to it.
Well, good thing. I was in another municipality, but I had just steam. My car was overheating, and I called 911 because I was in the middle of the road and I couldn't move my car. And much to my surprise, 2 fire engines showed up because you just never know. Why take a chance with your automobile? There's so much risk.
And we would much rather, anytime there's any question, don't hesitate to call 911. We would much rather come out and find that it's just overheated and there is no fire. And we can help assist you in any way that we can. But getting that call in, fire will increase rapidly. And getting that call made early, getting us en route is always better than waiting.
All right.
We're never disappointed to have to turn around when we find out that it's not a fire.
I need 3 hours to do this because I could talk to you all day. This is interesting and extraordinarily helpful, but we're almost out of time. So rapid fire, quick questions, quick answers.
Right.
Fireworks season is almost here. What do we need to be careful about? It really is here.
Fireworks season is here. Remember, in West Bloomfield and the Tri-Cities, you can only use fireworks on your property between the hours of 11 and 11 a.m. and 11:45 p.m. The season really starts between June 29th and July 4th. You're also allowed to use them the Saturday and Sunday of Memorial Day and Labor Day weekends. But the key thing is be respectful of your neighbors. Keep the fireworks on your yard. Keep them away from combustibles. Before you throw all the spent fireworks debris in the garbage can, it's always a great idea to soak it in water. Sometimes those are still smoldering inside, and putting them in a garbage can with more combustibles will lead to a bigger problem.
Fire pits, they're getting really popular now. These little metal fire pits that you can have, and a lot of people will have something in their yard. Is that legal in West Bloomfield? And if it is, what kind of tips do you have for us?
No, it's not legal in West Bloomfield. There's no open burning. You're allowed to have barbecue grills for cooking, but there's no open burning in West Bloomfield or the Tri-Cities.
All right, take those to your cabin. Be careful with them. Fire extinguishers, last question. Obviously, we want to make sure that we have fire extinguishers. You know where they are. Kitchen's probably a good place. Quick thoughts on fire extinguishers before we go.
A lot of times, since they're not used often, which is a great thing, they end up getting buried with other things in your cabinets or closets. It's very important to remember to keep those readily available, not covered by all the cleaning materials or clothes in a closet. And you want to check and make sure that the extinguishers, the arrow in there is in the green. And that's a great indicator that when you need it, it's going to work.
Is an extinguisher going to help us get out of the house? I mean, I was just thinking, maybe I should have one in my bedroom, too. I don't. I have one in my kitchen.
If the fire's small enough, it's going to give you a lot of time. You'll be able to put it out. Unfortunately, there's a handful of times where we show up and put a fire out, and while we're trying to determine what happened, we'll find 4 or 5 fire extinguishers at the base of the fire. Never hesitate. Immediately call 911 before you try to use an extinguisher. Get us on the way. And it's also helpful to make sure that you have an extinguisher that's at least 7 or 10 pounds that has enough product where it's going to be helpful. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to practice with an extinguisher and know how to use it. And we see a lot of people will start using the smaller kitchen extinguishers when they're too far away and they run out of product before they get to the fire.
All right, Byron, thank you very much. I appreciate your time this morning. We'll have you on again, and I'm going to go home and check my batteries in my fire smoke
Test your
detectors in my
test your
house right
smoke
now.
alarms.
All right.
Test your smoke alarms. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.